Hey everybody, my name's Kyle and this is Great 28 Live on Track by Track. Every day this month I'm picking one of my 28 favorite live albums and posting a short video highlighting what I think makes it great. Of the many concerts that I've seen, I count myself lucky to include among them the incredible Pink Floyd. This is probably my all-time favorite band, depending on the day. I seem to fluctuate between the Floyd and the Beatles, which seems reasonable. I mean, I'd hate to discount one in favor of the other. And while I didn't get to see Pink Floyd when they were at the height of their powers with Roger Waters still in the fold, the 1994 show that I saw at Chicago's Soldier Field was still truly amazing. At the time, the band was touring for the album The Division Bell, but the show's setlist still had an excellent blend of newer music from the two Gilmour-led albums, as well as from their classics featuring songs by former members Syd Barrett and the aforementioned Roger Waters. The Pulse live album was recorded on the same tour, but at a later leg than what I got to see. And that's perhaps the only real downside to my personal Pink Floyd concert experience, because for Pulse, the band was performing The Dark Side of the Moon in its entirety. And that's what makes up the majority of Disc 2 of this live release. It's incredible to listen to, and I imagine it was incredible to experience in person. There's not a whole lot I can say about Pulse that doesn't come across as hyperbole. It's essential listening for any Pink Floyd fan, as long as you can get past Waters' absence. And unlike The Delicate Sound of Thunder, which did feature some overdubbing for its album release, Pulse is entirely live, albeit patched together from multiple shows. And as if the music itself wasn't already great, there was also the incredible packaging featuring a hardcover booklet in a cardboard slipcase with a blinking light in the spine. It's also worth noting that Pulse is the only full Pink Floyd concert video to be released on DVD. The Delicate Sound of Thunder video was only made available on VHS and Laserdisc. So as I said, the Pulse live album means a lot to me since I actually got to see the band on this tour. It was an amazing experience, but also one that came with a bit of struggle. You see, back in 1994, they didn't sell concert tickets online yet. If you wanted to get great seats to a show, you had to camp out overnight outside your local Ticketmaster outlet so that you'd be near the front of the line when tickets went on sale, usually at 10 a.m. Since Pink Floyd was one of my favorite bands, it was really important to me that I got great seats for the concert. So, sometime past midnight on the morning before tickets went on sale, I trekked down to Bergner's at the local shopping mall where our Ticketmaster outlet was located, and I huddled by the door. I was first in line. As the hours passed, a line started to develop, and a ragged group of die-hard Pink Floyd fans passed the time discussing our favorite albums, what we thought of the solo stuff, and whether or not we thought Roger Waters could make it on his own. It was actually pretty cool. We all respected each other out of a mutual admiration for the music. Everything was going great, and I was psyched about my prospects for getting great seats to a once-in-a-lifetime show. Then around 8 a.m., when the line was maybe 60 or 70 fans deep, this guy shows up, and he's all pissed off. He comes to the front of the line, and he asks how long we'd been there, and then he looks offended when we answer. He explains that he'd been camping out at a different location, only to find out that it wouldn't be open until noon. And then he went on to explain that he was a ticket scalper and that his livelihood depended on him being able to get good tickets to resell. Now, obviously, that didn't earn him any sympathy from our group at the head of the line. And when he offered to buy our spots in line from us, we promptly told him where he could go. To the end of the line, of course. So about an hour before tickets went on sale, the manager of the store came out to tell us how the process would be handled. He explained that Ticketmaster's policy to discourage people from camping out overnight was to hold a random lottery to draw numbers to determine our place in line. But, he said, he appreciated our dedication as fans, and he'd agree to sell tickets in the order we were standing in line, as long as the entire line unanimously agreed. At first, everyone nodded their heads, recognizing that that was fair to the people who'd waited the longest. But then our scalper friend started to shout from the end of the line, No, that's against the rules. You should do a lottery. That's what's fair." The manager shrugged, looked at the group of us at the head of the line, and said, "Sorry guys, it has to be a lottery." The manager announced that he'd come back out in half an hour and we'd all draw numbers for our place in line. Those of us at the front of the line spent the next 30 minutes grumbling about our plight. Meanwhile, the scalper ran off into the mall and rounded up random strangers that he paid $5 each to come back to the store with him and draw additional numbers for line placement for him. When the manager returned, he had a huge bowl filled with folded up pieces of paper, each with a number on it. I was still near the front, but at this point the formal line had dissolved into a crowd since a new order was yet to be determined. "Okay," he said, "somebody needs to draw the first number." No one volunteered. I mean, first, second, last, did it even matter anymore? Then someone from the overnight group spoke up and pointed to me. "This guy should do it. He's been here longer than anyone." Everybody nodded their heads, and I let out a heavy sigh. I put my hand into the bowl, and I swished the papers around and selected one that felt completely like every other. I pulled it out, and I unfolded it to reveal that my place in line would be the number 1. I was in shock. "I'm first?" I asked the manager. "Yeah," he laughed. "Looks like you are." I ended up with 6th-row center seats right down on the field. It was the perfect place to be. It was far enough away that I could see the entire width of the stage and take in the spectacle of the show. But it was close enough that I could feel the intense heat of every fireball from the pyrotechnics and see every intricate movement of David Gilmour's fingers across his fretboard. It was an amazing, amazing show. The best concert of my life by a very long shot. Incidentally, that scalper ended up 3rd in line. In the minutes before tickets had gone on sale, I could hear him behind me shouting, "Give me your place in line. I'll pay for your tickets." But with a smile on my face, I completely ignored him. No way was I going to give the guy who almost cost me my place in line for Pink Floyd even the time of day. And that is why Pulse is my favorite live album from Pink Floyd, and why I'm excited to include it as today's selection in the Great 28 Live. That's it for today's episode. As always, I'll try to include Amazon ordering links in the description below if you want to add any of the music I've featured to your collection. And before you go, please take a second to click subscribe so that you don't miss future episodes of Great 28 Live, as well as many more videos to come. Once again, my name's Kyle, and this has been Track by Track. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.